Hey friends, today we're talking about the Epiphone Joe Bonamassa Signature Black Beauty. Super interesting guitar, and it's super interesting how I came about this recently. I was talking on one of my other videos on the Epiphone prophecy with Michael Heller. I hope you're watching this video right now, Michael, about this specific guitar along with a bunch of other Epiphones, because we're talking about the quality of Epiphones. Why shame isn't something that should enter the picture when you buy an Epiphone guitar. You really shouldn't feel ashamed. You should feel proud of the guitar that you have, because they're just made with immense quality. They're really, really good, and they hold up to Gibsons just fine. So Michael and I were talking, and we were specifically talking about the Black Beauty, how it's going up in value, and some other things about it, like the rounded neck. So when I came across this on a trade the other day, I went to the trade not knowing that the guy had this guitar. He pulled out 4 or 5 guitars, and then he also had this in his car. I saw it and I was like, I kind of have to get it, after I was having a conversation with Michael about this, and just generally on my Epiphone buying spree recently. So let's talk about this guitar, whether or not it's worth it. Right off the bat, it's absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. You can the dark features, the light features all balance out. This is an incredibly cool looking guitar just from the get-go. And the way that it's going recently, it's more of a collector's item. Maybe this is something that you should just put on your wall as a piece of art, but it's also incredibly good to play with, believe it or not. The biggest value I find in this guitar, it's kind of hard, because as an $800 guitar, which is what it cost when it was brand new, this would absolutely 100% be worth it. Like, no questions asked. The beauty and the functionality are all there. Now it's jumping up in price. The cheapest one is on Reverb for $1,500 plus shipping, I believe. And that one has been modded. They changed out, I think, the bridge pickup to something else. So that's the cheapest one. There's another one for $1,600 and then nothing else on Reverb. I don't know, maybe you guys can find a different source for your Black Beauties, but it's the fact that these are limited quantity, high quality, and have Joe Bonamassa's name attached to it that makes these just rise and rise in value. And I guess the conventional wisdom is that they're only going to keep going up in value right now, so people are probably going and getting their hands on as much of these as possible, raising the price, and then maybe they'll sell them down the line. That being said, this is obviously a collector's piece. I mean, look at it. It's a Black Beauty. It's as close to a 1958 Black Beauty as you could possibly get. Joe Bonamassa modeled this after his own Black Beauty. And I highly recommend watching the Gibson video that he does. He compares his actual Gibson to this Epiphone, and he plays both of them, and he talks about them. He talks about these weird style tuners, which have like red in them, and they're also very non-stock. They're not very conventional for that time. Now, that's pretty much it for wild features. It has a really round neck, like baseball bat round neck. It's definitely round profile, so if you want that slim neck profile, go get the Schecter Sinister Gates Custom S. Don't get this guitar if you like a really slim profile. I generally like a slim profile more than anything else, but I haven't had a lot of experience with rounded necks. So I put my hands on this, I've been playing around with it, and what I can say is I like it. I like it just fine. I like a rounded neck, I like a slim neck. At this point, I don't really care. Any guitar neck is really workable. It's all pretty comfortable. So yeah, I don't really care that it has a big rounded neck. I don't I probably don't have the right technique to really take use of the string bends. I usually have my thumb out like this. It's nice. It's nice. I can't complain about the rounded neck. I'm not addicted to the rounded neck. It's kind of good, because if I'm like hesitant about buying a 50 styles Les Paul from now on, I have less reservations about that. I just really don't care about the neck that much. It's all pretty cool to me. So regular stuff going on except for this middle pickup. So when you put it in the middle position, the middle pickup and the bridge pickup are both combined, and it has this really cool reverse phase tone, and you can't jigger it any way else. That's just how it is. It's it's pretty nice. Yeah, I like it a lot. You change, if you have it in the middle position, then it's only the bottom tone knobs that are going to make a difference. It's not the top tone knobs that has no bearing on it. The top tone, the top volume and tone knob only control the rhythm pickup. Speaking of the rhythm pickup, I love it. That's really probably the #1 reason to get this guitar. It's as full as you can get it, really. It reminds me a lot of my Les Paul Standard, which I'm going to talk about in another video because it's very interesting, but it's really nice. So all in all, it's also pretty like big. It's pretty big. It's got width to it, and it also has a very vintage style to it. I'll bring it up close and show you what I mean, kind of. It has the triple layer kind of binding on the side, and it has, yeah, it's vintage. This is what a 1958 Les Paul was. So with that said, I'm not a huge fan. If that's the case, I'm not a huge fan of like the style of that time period. I know that's kind of sacrilege because those are the creme de la creme of Les Pauls, but I don't love it. I don't know. It's just not my kind of style. It doesn't appeal to me all that much. My cat really wants to play with me right now. This is Lemmy. It's my cat. So sound-wise, let me throw on some distortion and we can rock out a little bit. So all in all, it has like a very vintage sound, I think, and quite frankly, I just don't like the vintage Les Paul, I guess. That's what I found. But that's just personal taste. That's completely personal taste. It's just for me. I think I like either very new stuff or stuff from the 80s and 90s. I don't know. There's just something that's not drawing me towards it, and that's completely fine. Everybody should have their own differences, should have their own opinions when it comes to guitars. But if you want something that's super vintage, that brings you back to 1960, or 1958 more specifically, buy this guitar. Yeah, absolutely. Buy this guitar. Buy this guitar from me, actually. I got this guitar to do this video and to play around with it, but it's not something that I want to keep for the long term, just because I have other guitars that I play with a lot more, and I feel like this would be better appreciated in somebody else's hands. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the vintage style, but that doesn't mean that you won't be a vintage fan. Along with it comes this completely gorgeous case that's just like so recognizable, and it's so like in your face about it. It's a really nice accompaniment, and when you pull out the guitar and like when you pull it out of this case, it really does make a statement. I'll try to do this as best I can in the position that I'm in, but it's a nice like yellow interior, beautiful plush, just fits snug right in there. You have the case candy inside right there. It's a cool package. All of it together I think is really worthwhile, and it's probably the best as like a collector's item. If you're collecting Joe Bonamassa stuff, I have even the plastic is still on the handle right there. If you're a collector of Joe Bonamassa stuff, then it means a lot to get this stuff in perfect condition. And this guitar is in perfect condition. The previous owner didn't play it. He bought it brand new. He had 2 of them, and he sold me his other one. I've played it. I played it for a few days now, and if you really mind that, then yeah, you don't have to buy that. But if you want to buy it, hit me up, message me, and we can work something out, either through Reverb, Facebook, or just off the radar. Who knows? But that's my review of the Les Paul Black Beauty. I guess I'll take the very end of this video to talk about the way that the value works. So it started out at $800 brand new. Now people are jacking up the price. The price is jacked up. I remember seeing this in December on Facebook Marketplace being sold for $900, and I passed on it. I didn't realize how much this would just jump up. But if you want one right now, what options do you have? You can't go to a retailer and buy it brand new. You would have to do something like buy it used from other people that have already bought it. So do I think it'll appreciate in value even more? Maybe. That's how scarcity works. I mean, as time goes on, things get rarer and rarer, in a way that can't really be replaced. I know people said the same thing about baseball cards, and now baseball cards aren't worth anything. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards or whatever trading cards you're talking about. A lot of collector's pieces are a gamble. But I think regardless, it's so functional and it's so beautiful that I can't help. Like, I can't envision this being very cheap anytime soon. I think the demand is just going to be so high, you know? So, anyways, like I said, if you want to buy this from me, I would love to sell this to you. It would help me a lot to know that it's going to the right person that's actually going to play around with this. Overall, it's a great guitar. It sounds really good. It sounds really full. It's a burst bucker. I think it's either a burst bucker or a pro bucker, 3 and then 2s right here. I think that's the way it goes. But I'm going to stop talking and let you guys start shopping. So have a good day.